Good afternoon. This is Tom Alexander. It is Sunday, March 9th. This is the weekend update for Monday, March 10th. As most of you are aware, I do these every single week, and they can all be accessed for free by going to my website, alexandertrading.com. Right here, click on weekly update, and you can see the weekend report for today. All the charts that I will be covering in just a minute are in here. You can download a PDF of this report if you like. I will post this video, which obviously I'm in the process of recording in here. Now you can also go back to the weekly updates, and you can go back a couple of years and you can see what I was saying, and you can follow the progression of the analysis. And it's a great lesson in auction market concepts. The only thing that I use and I trade are auction market principles, and I trade those and analyze markets in all time frames using that concept. Okay, let's take a look at the markets. Uh, Now, I have been suggesting there was going to be a very sharp move. We could have a sharp move in progress. Friday's low came at a super critical point in the SPX and the other indices. I'm going to go through each of the other indices, by the way. Now, the key reference areas for Monday's trade are in the report. I suggest you go to the website. For those, I will see if I can highlight them here just so you can see. And again, I don't use magic levels, magic numbers, magic pivots. Uh, I use auction market principles, and auction market principles are all predicated on what buyers and sellers have done. So if you're not at a level where there has been previous trade activity and either acceptance or rejection, you're in the middle of nowhere as far as I'm concerned, and as far as an auction market trader is concerned. So back to the upside here, if this rally continues, this would be an interesting area to keep an eye on. The $64,000 question here now is, are we in a bull market or are we in a bear market? It's almost an academic question. From a trading perspective, it doesn't matter, at least in the time frames that I trade. I am not, the basis of this report is not for an investor. The basis of this report is for a trader, and a trader in all time frames, whether you're trading for intraday or you're trading for a few days, you're trading for a few weeks or a few months. So even if we're in a bear market, this market is not going to go straight down, and it's not going to go down at the rate of change that it has been going down since the 19th. Now, is this particular leg, down leg, whether we're in a bull market or bear market complete? Nobody knows. It is stopping at an obvious level. And this is an obvious level, and I highlighted this in the report. This level has been important since last July. This was the July top here. Then we tested it here from below, sold off. Then we got above it, tested it again from below. This was another test from below. And now we're in that one, two, three, fourth test of this level after the level was set over here back in July. This is a critical level. The market is defining it as critical. That's all you need to know. I'm sure if you go back and up and down in time frames, you can find fib clusters or super cycles or whatever. You don't need that. You can just look at the chart, and it's quite clear this is an important level, and the market is defining it as such. Now, how much rally are we going to get here? Who knows? Friday was, Fridays tend to be a little bit funky now anyway because we have so much option uh, generated algorithmic trade at the end of every Friday. I think next week is a big triple witch. I think, pretty sure about that. I think it's a big March expiration, but as we get closer to that, we'll factor that into analysis and comments. But for now, I want to see if we can get up to and or through this area. All the indices have put in potential buying tails. That's an auction market / market profile term. But a buying tails and selling tails cannot be confirmed until the next session of equal duration is complete. So we can't confirm that this is a buying tail until Monday's trade, which would mean you'd probably have to stay above 57.15 for that to happen. So you've got, you could retrace roughly half into this range and you still have a buying tail. Okay, let's take a look at the NDX. Similar situation in the NDX, except the downside now, you're sort of below this area. You're sort of in an elevator shaft with an undetermined downside potential level. This is an area back to the upside that would be interesting. We want to be paying attention if we do continue to trade higher into this area. Go over here and look at, let's look at the Dow next. Now, the Dow is holding up relatively well, and it has not taken out this general area to the downside here. And it hasn't even traded into it either. Now, above this session high, you have different levels. You're going to have this level in here, and then, of course, you've got this high up here in the Dow. And then the Russell, as usual, is its own animal. It's clearly making lower lows and lower highs. Its upside key reference areas are much clearer at this point than are its downside key reference areas. You've got you have a low here, a low here, a low here. So you have this sloping series of higher lows here. Where the Russell might stop if it continues to go lower. Again, it's nebulous and it's much more of a guess. It's not nearly as clear as, say, the SPX, the NDX, or the Dow at this point. Okay, let's take a look at some other indices that I think are very important and potentially instructive. In particular, where is here we go, equal weight S&P. It's holding up really, really well relative to the S&P. And the obvious reason for that is because of the influence of the Mag 7 on the NDX and the SPX. The equal weight takes care of that, and it's showing some relative strength. And then what else do we have? What else can I show over here? New York Composite is also holding up relatively well, whereas the NDX is down about 10%. I'll go back and confirm that. The New York Composite from this print high to this print low is only down about 4.7%. Let's confirm how much down we are in the NDX. I think it's about 10%. Yeah, it's more than 10% from tick to tick. Okay, not close to close, but that's a pretty healthy decline. But that's typical in the NDX. It tends to be more volatile anyway. Okay, what about the internals? Well, I don't use any oscillators, indicators, stuff like that is not market generated. Now, the VIX is, as you guys know, it's a volatility measure. When it gets high, you're looking for lows. How high, what is high is a relative term. It got the highest that it's been since mid-December on Thursday. It came in a little bit on Friday. That's not a big surprise with the bungee jump we saw. However, it's not exactly like it crashed on Friday either. So we'll keep an eye on the VIX. It's elevated, but again, it can get a whole lot more elevated, especially if we've now segued into a bear market. Okay, if we look at breadth, NYSE breadth, and what I use here is NYSE data, NYSE advancing and NYSE declining issues. The red line you see is a 10-period moving average, in this case 10 days since I'm using days. 10-day moving average of NYSE advancing issues. The green is a 5-day moving average of advancing issues. The blue is a histogram of closing breadth. It is interesting that we have yet to see a negative 2,000 breadth reading on this decline, which you typically see at really solid bottoms. Now, you don't always have to see this prior to a ramp, but I would feel much better about a potential low in the process of being formed than I do now, with breadth really not reaching a downside extreme, but only briefly intraday. The fact that the 10 days has rolled back up doesn't mean a whole lot to me. Again, this is just simply a moving average of NYSE advancing issues. The point of this is that there has not been an extreme in this particular relationship, the relationship between advancing issues and SPH price. Guys, I hope you found value in this. Please like, please subscribe. It helps with the algorithm, all that stuff. I'm trying to build the channel. You guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll speak with you again soon.